That scared the bejeebers out of me. Is this where he forgets the restarts?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh wait, I was able to get on this desk
No
before.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yes. Ooh, where does this go? Ah! Whoa.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Oh boy.
He praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination
Pretty awesome.
of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Ah,
Nope.
then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. What do you think? Which choice was the better one?
I don't know.
Imagine if you had
Red's my favorite color.
continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones.
Yay.
Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now,
Hey.
I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Forever and ever. That sounds like fun. Woo! Little party going on here. I think we need some tunes for this. I don't got any music though. I'll have to edit some in. You will all enjoy the music. Nothing? Is that it? Well, I'm gonna come back for the other one.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want.
Shush.
Like right now. You could have done it just then.
Shush.
Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game.
Maybe I don't want to.
Just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible.
Fantastic.
And see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley.
This is pretty pleasant.
Who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly.
Hey.
What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. Did it all day in a meaningful way. But his brain had long ceased to function.
Hey.
Which is why he is in this parable. And lives an existence quite terrible.
Hey.
And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
This is gonna keep going. Is there a second verse? No? That it? Okay. What?
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
What?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
Sheesh.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I'll eventually go the right way, I just don't feel like it.
Lounge first,
I'm a
just
rebel.
to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace,
different.
its subtle charm. No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
Okay.
Yes, really worth it being here in the... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I wonder what would have happened if I stayed on the lift. Or if I jumped off on the wrong side.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Warning, do not jump from cargo lift while in motion will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift. Penalty from jumping off. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's very, very quiet.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered
Where did
the
he go?
door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but
Did
eager
I
to
break
get
it?
back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Well, I had a little audio malfunction for a little bit.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy.
There's an exit.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Uh-huh.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Excuse me.
Stanley, your chance to redeem
Oh, wait.
yourself.
What's
To
that
put
say?
your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Warning, something may
She's been
contain
waiting.
information. Okay then. Oh gosh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone?
Maybe.
But that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
Magic?
You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible?
Magic.
None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Huh?
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol
This is awesome.
for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please
Yay.
observe this helpful instructional video.
Oh my gosh.
It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous.
The most
For example,
dangerous.
in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend
Hurricane
years helping
Stephen.
improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or
Yay.
he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic.
28.
If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow
Okay.
the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
A what?
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day.
8?
Do you make more than 8? Less?
Probably.
And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Oh boy. Whoa.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay. What? Wait.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we
Hey.
can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all.
Huh?
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Okay. Lounge? Okay.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
What if I don't want to? Oh wait, is there still that one door open? Maybe not.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What happened if we go the wrong way again?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
This is awesome. Can I go in again? Fine.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. Oh, I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely?
No.
And willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
No.
I have to.
No.
I have to.
No. Oh no. That startled me a bit. Oh. Oh.
I'm here. I'm still here in this pile of rubbish.
Scary.
With you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was
Yay.
the only thing in the world that was mine, and you run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny?
Yes.
You just had to see?
Yep.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
Nope.
He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He
Nope.
understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
Nope.
That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it?
Nope.
That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Thank you.
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it.
Oh,
and been
spoilers.
victorious. It would have been so
Spoilers.
perfect. I worked so hard.
Spoilers.
I tried so hard.